patient you lost on the operating table came back, not for revenge, not to haunt you, but to warn you that someone you love was in danger. Dr. James Reed had spent 23 years saving lives. He had never believed in ghosts until the night a dead girl led him to his daughter's bedroom window and showed him what was waiting outside. This is that story. Welcome to the Unseen Hour. Dr. James Reed had spent 23 years saving lives. Everyone in the city knew him. Children he had delivered into the world were now adults. Old patients still thanked him whenever they met him in the market. To his colleagues, he wasn't just an experienced surgeon. He was a legend. His house stood just outside the city, surrounded by hundreds of old trees. He loved silence. Every evening after work, he returned home to his wife, 12-year-old daughter Sophie, and 7-year-old son Oliver. It was a peaceful life, until one rainy afternoon. A nurse burst into his office. "Doctor, emergency. A teenage girl. Road traffic accident." The emergency room was already crowded. The girl's parents were crying. Blood covered her clothes. Her pulse was weak. James immediately prepared for surgery. "She's losing too much blood." The operation lasted nearly 4 hours. Every member of the medical team fought to save her. Before the anesthetic took hold, the girl had reached out and touched his hand, just for a second, as though she wanted him to know. She trusted him. At exactly 6:42 p.m., the heart monitor became a straight line. Silence filled the operating room. James removed his gloves. "I've done everything I could." He signed the death certificate. The girl's name was Sara. Her parents left the hospital carrying their daughter's body. James had seen hundreds of patients die, but for some reason, he couldn't forget Sara's face, or the way her hand had felt in his, just for a second, as though she trusted him. 3 days later, while driving home, he saw a teenage girl standing beside the road, white dress, long hair. She looked directly at him. Before he could stop, traffic carried him forward. When he looked into the mirror, she was gone. He laughed nervously. "I'm exhausted." That night, everything seemed normal. His daughter Sophie happily showed him a doll he had bought for her birthday. It was handmade, very unusual. Its glass eyes looked strangely real. James smiled. "I'm glad you like it." The next evening, he saw the girl again. This time, there was no traffic. He stopped his car. The girl slowly turned. James felt every drop of blood leave his body. It was Sara, the patient, the girl whose death certificate he had signed. She wasn't smiling. She wasn't angry. She simply stood there, holding the exact same doll. Not one that looked similar. The same doll. The tiny scratch near its left eye. The missing ribbon. Everything identical. Sara slowly squeezed the doll's head. A faint cracking sound echoed through the empty road. Then she whispered, "Before it's too late." The wind suddenly grew stronger. Leaves swirled across the road. When James blinked, she had disappeared. He drove home in complete silence. The moment he entered the house, Sophie ran toward him. "Daddy." She was holding nothing. The doll broke. James froze. The doll lay on the floor. Its head had cracked open. Inside, there was something wrapped in black cloth. James carefully unfolded it. His hands began shaking. Inside was a small silver necklace. He recognized it instantly. It belonged to Sara. He had removed it before surgery. He clearly remembered placing it into the hospital evidence bag. How had it reached his daughter's toy? The next morning, he rushed to the hospital. The evidence locker was opened. Sara's bag was empty. The necklace had vanished. Hospital security reviewed the CCTV footage. At 2:13 a.m., the evidence room door slowly opened by itself. Nobody entered. Nobody left. Yet, the necklace disappeared. That night, James couldn't sleep. At exactly 3:13 a.m., he heard footsteps outside his bedroom. Soft, slow, bare feet. He opened the door. Sara stood at the end of the hallway. She pointed towards Sophie's bedroom, then vanished. James ran inside. His daughter was asleep. The broken doll lay beside her. Its glass eyes were staring toward the window. Outside, a black SUV was parked beneath the trees. Two masked men quietly walked toward the house. James immediately called the police. Within minutes, the men were arrested. One of them looked up at the trees as officers handcuffed him. His face went pale. "There was someone standing there," he whispered. "A girl in white. She was watching us the whole time." The officers looked toward the trees. Nothing there. The men confessed everything. Sara's accident had never been an accident. She had witnessed a human trafficking network operating near the highway. The gang murdered her by making her death look like a road accident. Now, they had come to silence the only remaining witness, James's daughter Sophie, because days before the surgery, Sophie had unknowingly photographed one of the gang members while playing near the park. The criminals had traced the family. They planned to kidnap Sophie that very night. Sara hadn't returned for revenge. She returned to save another child. The police destroyed the trafficking network. Every member was arrested. Every victim was found. Months later, life slowly returned to normal. One afternoon, Sophie asked, "Daddy, can I keep the doll?" James smiled sadly. "It's yours." That night, he placed the repaired doll on the shelf. As he switched off the bedroom light, he noticed something. The doll slowly turned its head toward the window, outside, for just a second. Sara stood beneath the trees. She smiled, then quietly faded into the darkness. James smiled too. He finally understood. Some souls don't return because they seek revenge. Some return because they couldn't leave until they saved one last life. That was The Unseen Hour, a story about the patience we lose, the souls who stay behind, and the love that refuses to leave until everyone it cares for is safe. Not every ghost is there to frighten you. Some are there to protect you. Some are there because they made a promise that even death could not break. Subscribe to The Unseen Hour. A brand new story is coming very soon. And remember, some of the people watching over us are the ones we never got to say goodbye to. Good night.